Wild West. It's still out there. And we'll show you how to find it. This is today's Wild West. Sundown at the White Stallion Ranch, and the horses are still raring to go. Who else has this much energy at the end of their working day? Kicking up their hooves and charging out of the gate, the 150 or so horses that call this dude ranch home head out to their overnight corral to enjoy their evening meal and a bit of R&R. When you spend the day making dreams come true for people from all over the world, it apparently leaves you feeling pretty good. And that's exactly what these guys do.
We've never been exposed to this Western style riding.
Jiang Lin, his wife Ching, and daughters Amy and Jessica have been on a pony ride a time or two, but here at the White Stallion, they're learning to ride a horse for the very first time. White Stallion Wrangler Carol Bachman is the expert instructor introducing this family into the wonderful world of horseback riding.
You gotta pick up your energy, ask for that forward motion, and name that forward motion.
Horses are at the heart of a visit to the White Stallion, 3,000 acres of pristine Old West Arizona desert, just outside Tucson, in a protected bowl bordered by mountains and Saguaro National Park.
Good. All right, we're gonna turn him around and try it again.
Jiang and his family are taking advantage of daily afternoon lessons offered in the big riding arena. The goal? Pass the fast ride test.
All right, guys, we are on our last lope. Horses are going home, so they will speed up, all right? Everybody ready?
While the White Stallion offers rides for virtually every age and ability level, fast rides, the chance to take the brake off and lope through the desert, is a favorite attraction. And 4 days after arriving, the entire family had qualified.
Pretty exciting?
Yeah.
Did you go on a fast ride today?
Yeah, today was our first time
How
on
was
the
that?
fast ride, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Cool.
They were very happy that they got the pass before parents did. So.
Our philosophy is a little different than some. We want experienced riders who know how to handle and can appreciate a well-trained, finely tuned horse. We want them to have that opportunity to do that.
And so they do. It's great fun to gallop in the desert on a great horse, and that's why the ranch guests include horse owners and equine competitors who may be better riders than some of the White Stallion Wranglers.
Really good, really good.
Sarah's here for the first time from London. Are you a rider at home?
Yes, yeah, but it's quite different in London.
Yeah, I bet.
You're dodging runners and cyclists.
None of that here. These desert trails look much the same as they did when the Apaches rode here 150 years ago. And if it all looks like a Western movie, that's because it has been. Jimmy Stewart and Gene Autry made Westerns here, and the White Stallion was a favorite location for the High Chaparral TV show.
I think this is incredible. I've never ridden in the desert. I've always been on the East Coast. Oh, see you later.
Brenda's a lifelong rider here from the Cleveland area, loving her horse, Tally.
I love my horse. Tally and I have a real good relationship.
Tally?
Tally man, Tally. Yeah,
cool.
He's very responsive.
Here on our first visit, Brenda's equally impressed with a riding program tailored to match virtually anyone.
I've seen these 6-year-olds riding, you know, who obviously this is their first time, and then 65-year-olds riding. So there's something for everybody. I just think it's delightful.
Keeping 150 or so horses that are a good fit for that range of age, size, and ability is perhaps the White Stallion's biggest challenge. Consistency is the key.
They can't be moody horses, they can't be inconsistent. That won't work because we can't manage that. So yeah, they are hard to find. We feel like less than 1 out of 2 end up making it in our string.
White Stallion owner Russell True says finding good horses is a little bit like drafting NFL football players.
you draft the best horse, but then sometimes you have to draft the position. You know, if you need a tall horse that's good for beginners, then that's what you're looking for. If you need a horse for kids, then that's what you're looking for.
Most horses the ranch acquires that make the cut are already broke, trained, and ready to ride. But like a quarterback learning a new playbook, horses need to learn the White Stallion system before they're ready for trail rides.
They're just not necessarily, and most of the time, not ready to do what we do. So they've got to learn our system, learn our trails, kind of get comfortable with all the stuff that goes on around here so that there are fewer surprises for them. And then we send them out with the guests.
What you end up with are horses that fit everyone from experts to those stepping into the saddle for the very first time.
Some of these beginner horses are saints. I mean, they literally and absolutely keep people safe and give them an opportunity to grow and learn and have an opportunity to make horseback riding part of their lives where they wouldn't have otherwise. And we only have these people for typically a week, so we've got to get stuff going. We've got to make progress fast. So we have this broad range of people. We have people who've learned to ride here and they've gotten pretty good, and we've got people who think they're better than they are, and the whole story. And so we've got to find the way that, beside the obvious things, which is putting a 6'5" guy on a 16-hand horse and the 5'1" woman on a 14-hand horse, and you know, size and things like that, the obvious things, but we also have to make sure, if you're trying to give experienced riders horses appropriate to experienced riders, you really have to work hard to match those horses. You've got to know your horses, you've got to know their strengths and weaknesses, who they like, who they don't like, and it's a bit of a puzzle.
It takes an expert staff of wranglers to do that job, especially when you're saddling 115 horses a day. There's never a shortage of applicants, but finding qualified people is not easy.
You are looking at a shrinking pool of wranglers. I mean, it just is. And there's a lot of people still riding horses, but it's a hard job, and there are easier ways to make a living.
Russell, of course, prefers experience with horses with equally good people skills, but he will train the right person.
We don't take the whole crew this way, but if we have somebody who really has a passion and an interest, we'll take them from pretty low experience and train them how to ride and train them how to do it. And we also find that sometimes creates a little more empathy with the guests, and we've been surprised. We've had some really good success with that.
It does tend to be a young person's game. Throwing around 50-pound saddles and 100-pound bales of hay is no easy job.
Most wranglers, it's really just a college thing, you know? They spend their college summers out on dude ranches. And
our wrangler Joe has worked dude ranches off and on for 6 years, and at age 29, he's getting ready to hang up his spurs and use his college degree. But he'll retire from riding the range with no regrets.
No, I don't think I'd do it different. No, I think it worked out pretty well.
You just
got to see all the states I wanted to see, so I'm happy.
You know, all of these folks, every one of these wranglers could do something probably easier, certainly, and maybe make more money doing it. But this is what they want to do, at least for this part of their life, and they get excited about it, and they get a lot of positive feedback. The guests love what they're doing for them, and I think that's the interaction and the experience that for the few who can do it makes it all worthwhile.
Hanging out with all the different people you meet and the horses, and you know, I get to ride horses for a living and wear a cowboy hat and be normal. It's cool.
Some of us can only dream.
You gonna sign on to be a wrangler, Barbara?
Yeah, I'm gonna sign on to be a wrangler. Do they take people over 20?
It is quite the office.
Guys ready for some galloping?
Yeah, definitely.
I love those fast rides, but it's also a pleasure to slow down, savor the scenery, or even stop and smell the roses. And during the springtime bloom, the desert can look much like my mother's beloved rose bushes. Cactus flowers are really incredible. Ocotillo blooms with amazing red flowers, other cactus decorated in brilliant purple. Back at the ranch, cactus gardens in springtime light up with all kinds of wonderful color, white, pink, orange. It can actually be quite educational just to stroll around the immaculately manicured ranch property and read the signs that tell you what you're looking at. This saguaro cactus is now more than 150 years old. It takes a saguaro 75 years to sprout a single arm. The Apaches believed the saguaros were reincarnated warriors. Those with arms pointed skyward had faithful wives. Those with arms pointed down did not. You can still see the signs left behind by the ancient peoples who once lived in this desert. The White Stallion's day-long ride in the neighboring Saguaro National Park goes by some fascinating petroglyphs, those mysterious rock drawings that may be thousands of years old. The 8-hour ride into the desert park is a great adventure.
We survived.
Yeah, it was
Yes,
good.
it was fabulous.
Yeah.
It was like more than I thought it was going to be. It was better than I thought it was going to be.
beautiful.
Yeah, and it,
Exhilarating, beautiful.
yeah, and a lot of long lopes, which was fabulous. You know.
If you're lucky, you can also see some of the current residents of the Sonoran Desert, like this colorful Gila monster we spotted along the trail. The famous orange and brown lizard was a rare treat to not only see, but capture on camera. How cool is that? Back on the patio, another lizard came by to pay a visit, however brief. He was just a bit shy. What lasted longer was the magnificent desert sunset we savored, while enjoying a cold beverage at the end of a grand day, sharing our adventures of the trail. Later, we'd enjoy a fine outdoor dinner on the patio, in a beautiful setting that's like a grand hacienda. Russell would come by during dinner to tell us our riding options for the following day, which would include team penning. The White Stallion has a very fun version of that sport. We'll take you for that ride when today's Wild West continues.